I've been off the mat, no with the grid. Like my heart, but I'm dodging the sig. 1 time, cause I'm straight with the pen. 2 times, cause my location on. 3 times if you think I'm your friend. All my friends question, where have I been? But did my promise, let me make it a day.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, and today's video is very exciting because we are going to be doing another bioactive build. This time it's going to be for my Dumeril's boa, and we're going to be doing different things with the plants and stuff. This time I'm going to incorporate fake plants, which I usually don't do, so I'm very excited about that. And this video is actually a part of a series where I am showing you everything I'm doing to this 4 feet enclosure from top to bottom, as far as starting out with building the enclosure, putting the sliding glass doors, doing the background, doing the actual bioactive build of it, which is this video. I mean, everything from top to bottom. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the other videos in this series. And with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into this bioactive build. Alright guys, so first things first with this build, let's go ahead and go over all of the supplies really quickly. So I'm going to start out with the enclosure, let you know the size we're working with and all of the specs of the enclosure. Then we'll go over all the regular supplies, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the build. Alright guys, so this is the enclosure in all of this glory. This is a custom enclosure built by me and my grandfather. It is a wood, plywood enclosure. The background is made out of styrofoam and concrete. I do have a video on that, so make sure you check that out if you want to see that. And then there is a shelf here. The shelf is going to house my heating element. I'm going to be using a heat pad on some carpet. So this is the heat pad right now. This heat pad is actually like a seed starter mat instead of like an actual Reptile heat pad. So I'm actually interested to see how this turns out instead of using a regular heat pad. So it does not have a sticky side. It's just a heat mat here. This is a little this is the little probe for my thermometer. And so that's all of those specs there. There will be a Reptile carpet over the top of this just to keep them from having direct contact with the heat mat. As far as the sizing of this enclosure, it is 4 feet long, 3 feet tall, and then 2 feet deep. So that's the enclosure size we're working with. And for the first time, I do have some lights in my enclosure. So these are the ZoomEd LED lights here. I believe this is the 18-inch. Don't quote me on that. Can't remember. But I will be having a review of these lights coming out in the future. So if you want to know, you know, how these guys work, check out that video when it comes out. I wanted lights this time because I just really don't have great luck with keeping my plants alive. So I'm hoping with some great lighting and also being close to a window that my plants will do better in this build. So let's go ahead and get into the regular supplies. Alright, so starting from the bottom up, I will be using egg crate as my false bottom. I like egg crate. It is very lightweight. Obviously, you can use something else if you prefer, but for an enclosure this size, egg crate is the way to go. We do have our weed block here. Both of these items are from Home Depot, so we'll be cutting that weed block to size. I guess we're kind of going from the ground up here. So substrate wise, in this bin is her old substrate. So there's like some forest floor in here and some ABG mix mainly in here. Eco Earth probably and stuff like that. So that's some of her old substrate. Here we have my bin of Dwarf White isopods. So we will be seeing this with isopods and springtails. So this is one of my bins. They're just in a mixture of Eco Earth and ABG mix as well. Staying on the substrate area, I will be adding some bricks of Eco Earth. And I wanted to try this Reptile soil for the first time. I've never tried this product. So I just wanted to kind of mix that in and see if that would help with some plant growth. And then I do have some kind of textured things. So I do have some Reptile bark, a little bit of that, and I have some cocoa chip bedding. Not sure if I'm going to be using all of these substrate things, but I do have them available to me should I want to. In this random Carrabba's bag, I do have some magnolia leaves for my leaf litter. If you want to see my video on collecting your own leaf litter, I will link that in the iCard. And then we have some sphagnum moss. I feel like I always pronounce that wrong. Sphagnum moss? Sphagnum? Anyway, so we got some long fiber sphagnum moss from probably Home Depot. This is the reversible Reptile carpet that we will be putting over our heat pad. I just got the one for a 10 gallon since it's going to be on top of that shelf. I don't think we needed anything huge. And last time I bought a heat pad, I had to cut it down to size anyway for carpet. Rather, I had to cut it down to size, so I just wanted to start out with a 10-gallon one. Coming back over here, now we're kind of going to go to the plants. This plant was doing so well in this pot, and then I transplanted it to a new pot, and all of a sudden it started dying. So yeah. But I want to put this in an enclosure just because I want to kind of get it out of pot. It doesn't look nice in my apartment anymore, so hopefully it can bounce back in the enclosure. If not, we'll just toss it. I don't know what type of plant this is. This plant right here was a new buy. I think it's called a Dracaena, something like that. So we have that plant at our disposal as well. And then I might be adding this snake plant. I did buy this snake plant for this purpose, but then I end up potting it and putting it in this planter. So who knows if I'm going to use it, but that's there as well. And then I will be using some fake plants. So this is just a whole bag of some fake plants that I got at Home Depot. Not Home Depot, Hobby Lobby. If you are going to buy fake plants, buy them on sale. Don't waste your money because them things can be really expensive. So for hides and things like that, so we do have this plastic hide here. This is a plastic wood hide as well, half log. And then we have this corner dish for her water bowl. I also will be using this wood half log that I actually collected myself. I have a video coming up on how to collect your own wood pieces and sterilize them for your enclosures. So we have this half log, and then we have these really cool wood elements here. I believe these are like I am blanking on the names. They're vines. They're a type of vine. I think this is grapevine. And you can see how twisty that wood is. It's very, very cool. And these I collected myself and then sterilized for the enclosure. And then just to go over a couple tools, I did use a handsaw. I would recommend one of these, especially if you are going to be cutting your own wood. So this is what I used the handsaw for, to cut my grapevine. You are going to need a tape measure. This I'm actually going to use to cut the egg crate so that I can cut it to size. I bought this from Hobby Lobby, and its actual use is for like tin or like stainless steel type of projects, but it is very sharp and it cuts well. So and then you just need you a pair of scissors. So that is all of our supplies. Pretty much went over everything. Everything is all spread out over my room. So let's go ahead and get into this build, guys. Alright guys, so now it's time to go ahead and measure out our false bottom, our egg crate. Couldn't think of the name. So now let's go ahead and measure this out. So let's see. The one thing I forgot to mention with cutting your egg crate like this is these little pieces are definitely going to go flying. So keep that in mind. Alright guys, so now I have my egg crate cut to size. So now we just got to put it in here. So first I'm going to lay down these two pieces here. This is because I don't want my egg crate to bow in the middle because of the way that I'm putting it in here. We have these support beams here on the side of the enclosure, and instead of putting the egg crate in between the support beams, I'm putting them on top of the support beams, which means they're not flush with the egg crate is then not flush with the bottom. So I'm going to put these pieces in here just to kind of help elevate the egg crate a little bit so that it bows a little bit less. Now, I'm not particularly like finicky about it bowing, so if you are, then you can consider doing something else, but it doesn't necessarily bother me. I just don't want it to be too much bowing. So it's totally up to you. If you just wanted to be flush with the bottom of the enclosure, then you would put it in between the support beams as opposed to on top of the beams. Alright guys, so the egg crate is down. You can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as putting it on top of the support beams, and you can kind of tell that there is still a slight bowing there. I guess I could stack those pieces on top of each other instead of, let's try that. Okay, that seems to have made it bow a lot less by stacking them all on top of each other. All right, and you can hot glue those together as well, so they don't end up sliding around. So that looks good. I am gonna hot glue these pieces together, and then we'll be back to finish it. All right, guys. So I decided to tuck my wheat block around my egg crate. Generally, I don't do it like that. So this is my first time trying it. Generally, I just leave a lot of excess. That way, I can kind of prevent my substrate from falling past, like, in the corners, like prevent my substrate from falling in corners into my drainage layer. But I think this is actually a pretty good seal. You can see there's no, like, you can see there's, like, it's really tight against the corners. It's a little bit of excess. I mean, I had a lot. I didn't really cut it to size, but I'm cool with that. So this is our false bottom done. Now it's time to put the substrate in. Alright guys, so this is the bucket of substrate. So again, we already have her old substrate, which had ABG mix, Eco Earth, and Forest Floor. So I just added 3 bricks of Eco Earth and I hydrated those. So now I'm going to add a bag of Reptile soil and mix all that together. So last time I did an enclosure build, I ended up feeling like I added way too much sphagnum moss. So this time I'm going to not add as nearly as much, and I'm actually going to cut them up into smaller pieces. That way they incorporate better into my substrate. I cannot stand it when there's like really dry sphagnum moss like sitting on top of the substrate, and it's just, I don't like the look of that. So I'm going to cut them smaller so hopefully they incorporate better. Alright y'all, I'm not trying to be here chopping all night, so I'm just gonna go with that, and then I'm gonna mix it back up. Now we have all the substrate in there, I'm gonna go ahead and add all of our plants. it for this bioactive build. I am very, very proud of it, very happy with it. I'm so glad that we were able to incorporate real plants and fake plants this time. I think that in combination with the new lights and having plants placed more strategically, I'm really hoping that all of my plants will do well this time. Only time will tell, and of course I'm going to give you guys an update video as these things occur. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, comment down below if you have anything you want to discuss with me, and otherwise I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.
All of my chips in the game, risk it all. I am not playing safe. Lyrically, there is nobody on top of me. Seriously, all this mumble rap really be killing me. If I'm in your city, you know I'm pillaging. Fucking the villages, boy, I'm diligent. When it comes to myself, I ain't feeling it. Trying factor out the gate, I'm a trilogy. Stuck to my roots like how religious niggas be. But I never switched up, yeah. If I throw a punch, you hit the gun.